Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and kiss my ass.
Today, I want to talk to you about Dan Pena, the self-proclaimed trillion-dollar man. He's got this larger-than-life reputation, and he's a polarizing figure in the world of business and personal development. Some people absolutely swear by his methods, while others think he's just another overhyped guru. So let's break it down and get real about who Dan Pena is, what he does, and whether he's worth your time and money. Before I start, if you're tired of scams and want a real solution for making money online, check out my #1 recommendation in the description below. Let's dive in. First off, Dan's story is pretty impressive on paper. He grew up in East Los Angeles, not exactly the easiest place to rise from. He eventually made his way onto Wall Street as a financial analyst before hitting his stride in the oil business. He became the president of Great Western Resources, Inc., a company that even got listed on the London Stock Exchange back in the 80s. And his big claim to fame? The merger between Texaco and Getty Oil, which was the largest corporate merger in US history at the time. But here's where the questions start creeping in. Sure, his resume from back then is solid, but when it comes to his recent achievements, things get a little murkier. A lot of his trillion-dollar man title comes from the supposed wealth his mentees have generated using his system, not necessarily from his own ventures in the last couple of decades. He is best known for a program he runs called the Quantum Leap Advantage, or QLA.
One of the questions I get and have gotten for several years, especially since we started putting everything out for free, is, gee, Dan, I don't know, you give me all this stuff and where do I start? What do I do? How do I get my thumb out of my ass?
The whole premise of the course is to push you out of your comfort zone, take massive risks, and execute with military-like discipline. Dan's style is as aggressive as it gets. He's not here to hold your hand or cheer you on gently. He's going to tell you to take risks and stop making excuses. Now, this kind of tough love approach works for some people, especially if you thrive under pressure and need a wake-up call. But for others, it can feel like being berated rather than mentored. Not everyone responds well to that level of intensity, and honestly, it can come across as more intimidating than inspiring. Then there's the QLA seminar, a 7-day workshop held at Dan's castle. It costs $20,000 to attend. Some attendees claim it's life-changing, while others come away feeling like they've just paid for a high-priced motivational speech. The thing is, the principles Dan teaches aren't groundbreaking. They're a mix of old-school business strategies, mindset coaching, and some self-help basics wrapped up in his unique delivery. So, you have to ask yourself, is it really worth the price tag? Or could you get the same results from reading a few good books and taking action on your own? Now, let's talk about results. Dan loves to boast about all the billionaires his program has supposedly created, but when you dig a little deeper, the details are hard to verify. Sure, there are success stories, but how many people have gone through his program and not seen results? We don't hear about those people as much. The truth is, no matter how good the program might be, success isn't guaranteed. It depends on a lot of factors: your background, your willingness to take risks, your network, and frankly, a bit of luck. Another thing to consider is the branding. Dan's castle, his brash personality, and his over-the-top demeanor are all part of his image. It's effective because it enables him to stand out in a crowded market, but it also makes you wonder, how much of this is about genuine business coaching, and how much is about selling the idea of Dan Pena as this huge success figure? It's hard to separate the substance from the show sometimes. And then there's his claim that he's all about helping people succeed. On the surface, that sounds great. But let's not ignore the fact that he's charging a fortune for a week-long seminar. That's not exactly accessible for the average person trying to make it in business. So, is it really about helping people, or is it more about creating an exclusive club that feeds into his mystique? It feels like there's a bit of both going on. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Dan Pena is not legit. His business achievements from his earlier career are legit, and his methods clearly work for some people. But I also think it's important to approach his program with a healthy dose of skepticism. He's not offering a one-size-fits-all solution to success, no matter how much he might claim otherwise. If you're thinking about diving into his world, you've got to ask yourself, are you ready to handle his intensity? At the end of the day, Dan Pena is a fascinating figure. He's built an empire on his persona and his teachings, and there's no denying he's had an impact on people's lives. But whether he's the right fit for you, that's a decision only you can make. Before you leave, if you're tired of scams and want a real solution for making money online, check out my #1 recommendation. Click the link in the description to see the best business to start online, which made me over $26,000 last month alone. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up below and subscribe for more.